Podcast Show.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Myers, and welcome to the Rich Myers Podcast Show. I'm here today with Steve Andrews. Um, where are you from?
Well, hi, Rich. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I am Steve Andrews. I'm also known as the Bard of Ely, and this is Ely in Cardiff, in South Wales, which is where I am from originally, but I now live in Portugal.
Wow. I listened to your track. We can sing together. I thought it was a beautiful song. Um, we need a song like it these days. What influenced it?
Thank you so much, Rich. Yeah, I agree totally. We do need songs like this. We need songs of peace because there is far too much trouble in the world, far too much war. So we need peace. It's like John Lennon said, whenever, he used to talk about peace all the time. We should think peace. My inspiration for this song, and I'll just tell a brief story. Um, there's a guy called Stephen Friedland who's a singer-songwriter, and he lives in New York. He's also known as Brute Force, and he was once on the Beatles' Apple Records with a song of his called King of Fur. That was in 1969, King of Fur. And in this song, it's got the Fur King did what he wanted to do, and all hail the Fur King. Now, it's not that swear word, but EMI Records, they couldn't cope with it. So they actually pulled the record, even though John Lennon and George Harrison wanted Brute Force on Apple. But moving way forward in time to 2020, the lockdown year, the pandemic, became a regular of a show from New York called The Roo and Who Show with Rue Starr, who is a singer-songwriter performer from New York. And I really liked the show. That's why it became a regular. So it was like an open mic. We had like different performers coming on. And one of them was Brute Force. So I got to see straight away that, he's a fantastic performer and singer-songwriter himself. And we became friends. Now, moving forward yet again to, to last year, I think it was May last year, he sent me some lyrics, the lyrics for We Can Sing Together. And he said something like, Steve, I've written these words. I was wondering, could you maybe come up with a tune for it? So I thought, well, I'd love to, it would be an honor to work with Brute Force. I'd love to do that. So I did what I usually do when I write a song. I sat down with my guitar and I looked at the words and I strummed some chords and I sung over, whatever I was playing until I thought, that fits, that'll work. And then I got the song together like that, and then I recorded it roughly on my computer. I sent it to Brute Force. I said, I've just done it. What do you think? And he was happy with it. So the next stage then was I thought, well, okay, I want to get this recorded. So there's a guy here in Portugal in the town I live in, which is Quinta do Conde. And his name is Ricardo Videlio, and he has his own studios. And I've recorded songs with him before. So I called him and I booked some time. And I went along to Ricardo's studio, the Videlio studio. And he said, what are we doing today? And I said, well, I want to do this song. So I played him the song. And he was excited about it as me. Ricardo was saying, Steve, I could see this song with a choir of children singing behind it. And you know what? I think I could make that happen. What do you think? And I said, Ricardo, if you can make that happen, I think it'd be absolutely fantastic. So please do. Anyway, besides being a producer and owning a studio here, he's also a music teacher. And he teaches children music and singing. So he thought he could do this, and like obviously you'd have to get permission from the parents from children that he teaches. But he said, "Leave it with me," and we recorded the song. Of course, I played the guitar and I sang, and we had the song. I left that with him, and then about a week later, he said, "Could I send him the lyrics?" I sent him the lyrics because he wanted to share the lyrics with the children that were going to be singing on it. And then he recorded all the children, their voices to be a backing choir on the song. He added some strings to the whole mix of the song as well, which I thought were fantastic. And then he called me in the studio to have a look at what he'd done. And I said, "Yeah, well, this is really great. This is fantastic, And he said, "Would I like him to make a music video?" I said, "Yes, please. I'd love a music video to go with this." So again, he had an idea. He said, the amphitheater, the stage in Boa Agua, and this is the stage, by the way, with a kind of psychedelic background with all colorful like artwork on it. And they sometimes have festivals there. So they sometimes have bands playing on that stage. So I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." And then I've got a shirt. I haven't got the shirt on right now, but I've got this shirt with a kind of there's a guy on the shirt with a bowler hat, and he's got sunglasses and a beard, and it's got peace symbols and all this stuff. It's kind of a psychedelic pop art shirt. I thought, okay, well, I'll wear that. And then anyway, like Ricardo managed to organize it all. So he got permission from the kids' parents to be involved in this. And we set a date and a time. We had to get permission from the local council to have the stage open, but we got all that sorted and we did it. Ricardo came along and filmed me on the stage with the children. Some of the parents came along as well. And actually on the video, you can see some of the parents. I think there's one going like this on it. And so they were very happy with, having their children in this. And we recorded the video, and that was it. So that was how that video came about. And ever since I've been pushing it, and Brute Force has been pushing it, and because we want it out there. We want to get our song for peace out there in the world and see if we can get some peace, because that's what we all need.
Okay. Let's take a listen to it.
Thank you so much.
We can sing together. We can carry a tune to everyone in the world, to the eagles and the loons, all of us together. We can convey that we care. So peace would be the word spoken everywhere. Yes, states and countries are just different names for the home we share. Our home is the same. We can sing together. We can be the tune.
Yeah, it's a good song. Um, do you got any other songs on concerts and what's next?
Well, I haven't got any concerts, but I've got a lot of songs, and basically, I'm kind of promoting my songs all the time. I'm always doing something, and I don't know if you know, but I'm very involved in like activism for the environment, and I have a and I push that anywhere I can, anytime I can. It goes along with I've got a book as well called Saving Mother Ocean, and my book was endorsed by Captain Paul Watson, and so he knows what I'm trying to do, and I've got an idea, you see, which goes with my activism for marine conservation. Um, I've had this idea for like a massive concert, a massive rock concert, like think like Live Aid, but this would be a kind of marine aid, ocean aid, saving the oceans. And there are some bands that I think would be ideal for it. And I actually spoke out at the World Ocean Summit in Lisbon last year. And I sang like a little bit from my song, Where Does All the Plastic Go? Where does all the plastic go? Into the sea, into the sea. How does it get there? Who threw it away? Was it you or was it me? So I sang that, and then I spoke a bit about this idea. And one of the bands is Coldplay, and Coldplay actually support Captain Paul Watson anyway. They say so on their site. Brian Adams, okay, Brian Adams is an ambassador for Captain Paul Watson, and this is on the Captain Paul Watson Foundation site. You can find that. More recently, Eddie Vedder. Eddie spoke out at a recent festival. I think it was in California. I can't remember the name of the festival, but he spoke out in support of Captain Paul. And Captain Paul has actually just shared this on his social media. Eddie Vedder supports me. And so those are three very big names. I also think like Steven Tyler is another one. Steven Tyler supports Captain Paul Watson. So, I'm sure you can see what I'm getting at here. I'm just thinking we could get some really big name rock stars on this. And if only, one or two of them agreed, they say, yeah, we want to do this, this would get the publicity. It wouldn't be hard to get other bands and other singers to want to come in on that stage. And if he just said, okay, this is going to be big, like Live Aid, it would get worldwide publicity. It would be absolutely huge. It would get so much media coverage, and it would like everybody that was involved in it would be benefiting from it. And somebody asked me a few years ago, they said, well, Steve, where do you think this should be? I said, it doesn't matter where it should be, because the ocean is all over the world. We all share the ocean, so we should all be doing what we can to be saving the ocean. It doesn't belong to anybody. So I said, well, I live in Portugal, so I'd love, the concert to be in Portugal because that's easy for me, right? But if it was in America, or it was in Australia or the UK or anywhere at all, it doesn't matter, because we all share the ocean and there are big stages everywhere. So anywhere that someone can organize that and say, okay, how about we have it here, and then name that big stage, I'm going to say, yes, please, that sounds great. So we just want an international marine conservation awareness raising concert featuring some really big names. And that's my idea, and that's the one that I'm pushing all the time. And while I think of it, Elephant Journal, I don't know if you know of Elephant Journal, but Elephant Journal gave me a really long article in there talking about the action I've done, like as a singer-songwriter and an author, and with my idea for this rock concert. And when it comes to action, people ask me, they say, well, what can we do? And obviously for all the different problems in the world, it can be overwhelming, that I think that's obvious. But what I say is, well, you do what you can do personally, and the more of us that do anything, yeah, the better it's going to be, because it's all going to be, you know, an accumulative effort. And I think we can all do something, and so that's what I say. I say, take whatever action you can, and do it. You know, that's my opinion.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna run out of time here. Where can people go and see your videos, music, and events?
Very easily. I mean, I'm on YouTube and I'm on all the social media. And if you Google Steve Andrews, and if you Google Bard of Ely, BARD of OFELY, Ely, Bard of Ely, you should find me.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show this morning. I really enjoyed having you.
Well, thank you so much, Rich. It's been, you know, a pleasure to be on here. So thank you for inviting me.